People can disagree over anything. Ideas, strategies, decisions. Even in Toastmasters Club, people can have disagreements over programming, meeting assignments, speeches, and other events. Mr. Jack Bevere with his speech conflict.
Yes, conflict is is part of life. It can happen in the workplace, it can happen in the Toastmasters Club, and it can happen in marriages. When we first got married, my wife and I agreed that if we had an argument, the one that lost would walk around the block. In 40 years, my wife hasn't been out of the house. But seriously, we're kind of inseparable. Last night it took 3 people to separate us. There are different types of conflicts. There is contentious personalities. There's misunderstandings. There's conflicts of issues. And there's conflicts of leadership style. Contentious individuals can be those people that you just can't stand. You know, the guy that's always argumentative. The one that knows it all. Those kind of people are everywhere. Then there's misunderstandings. Those kind of conflicts come up just because the facts are not clear. Once you clear up the facts, the conflict goes away. The third type is issues. Issues can be values, opinions, just a different way of looking at the situation. And then, of course, there's leadership styles. Leadership styles can be conflict between the leader and the follower, or they can be between 2 different leaders. There's the dogmatic leader, and on the other hand, there's the passive leader. There's the charismatic leader that's, oh, everything's all right. And then there's the one that just sort of agrees with everything that everybody wants to do. And these can create a lot of conflict. So how do we resolve conflicts? Well, we can ignore it. We can smooth it over. We can force it. We can compromise. Or we can collaborate. If you ignore conflict and hope it goes away, it might go away, but it's probably going to sort of sit there and fester. So you ought to take care of that right away. The second kind of conflict, if I could remember it, you smooth it over. And these kind of conflicts are usually just personality clashes between 2 people, something that doesn't affect the team or the job, and so you can just smooth those over. Another way you can resolve a conflict is by forcing it, and this happens usually in the emergency, and you as the leader say, this is what we're going to do, and it gets done. But the problem is that somebody is going to get hurt. Somebody's feelings are going to be hurt. And so it's a negative. You can compromise. Now, everybody knows what compromise is. You give a little, I give a little, and we sort of come together. You know, it's like the financial cliff. Everybody's going to compromise a little bit. You're going to cut spending, we're going to raise taxes. So the trouble with that is, everybody goes away feeling that they gave up more than the other guy. that it's really a losing situation. Collaboration, on the other hand, is probably the best way to go because it's a win-win situation. And that's where you bring the people involved together to talk it over. But you have to be very careful. You have to sort of set the tone of the conversation. You can't let it get out of hand. You can't let it get personal. But you want everybody to speak. Everybody involved, you want them to give their opinions. And you want to encourage everybody else to listen. Then you try to draw out of everybody what the areas of disagreement are. I disagree on that. I don't like that. That stinks. That won't work. And as you're doing this, you're also trying to create a mutual value system. You want to look for areas of agreement. And you sort of do this whole thing through the process of brainstorming. And we had a good example of brainstorming a few weeks ago in the club. And this is where you get, once you've defined the problem, you get everybody to suggest a way to correct it. And you list all the ways, and you keep looking at, asking for more and more and more ways to correct the situation. And then you work your way back through all the suggestions and say, look at what will work and what won't work, until finally you get down to the point where everybody's agreed that this is the best solution. Now, the best way to solve a conflict is to never let it get started. Mr. Toastmaster.